Well, the Aleph Zero event here in Tokyo was a smashing success, held at the Mercedes-Benz store in downtown Tokyo. They also have a cafe. It's a really nice spot, really nice venue, right next to Roppongi Midtown Tower, with a lot of the big banks as well as big tech companies working right across the streets. So lots of good connections for the Aleph Zero team. Now, it's up on the second floor here. You can see you walk in the door, and they have the nice sign Web3 adoption. So let's go ahead and head upstairs and check it out. So here we have the bar, and I feel like it's a little bit weird to be taking a video around the area just because for privacy concerns. So I'll just go ahead and walk you guys through the area with my voice here. They have this nice little display with all the Aleph Zero statistics. They had some mints here with some peanuts at the front door just to get the brand awareness out there and to give everybody a nice little snack before the event. Very nice. And make sure their breath smelled good. Here you have a picture of Sota Watanabe, and then here you have a picture of Anthony. He's talking about Alephoria. There was a lot of really interesting people there reaching out to the Aleph Zero team, trying to get their contact information and trying to help Aleph Zero grow their community a little bit more here in Tokyo. Really noticed a lot of the people who were attending the event were actually event organizers and space organizers. Basically people in Tokyo who have like a cafe or something who like to have parties come in and do their DeFi events. If you couldn't tell by the video, this was also located in the Mercedes-Benz Innovation Center, where a lot of startups can do like their speeches and stuff there. And I think it really goes to show that the bigger corporations are really looking at blockchain and AI and trying to see where they can fit that into their business model. And that was sort of the focus of the discussion from Sota and Anthony as well. Now, Sota and his team, they all spoke Japanese. Luckily, I speak Japanese and I was able to write my notes. However, for some reason, Twitter decided to either delete my tweet or something. I don't know what happened with that. There was some really good points made by both parties, and the topic of discussion was how are we going to achieve mass adoption within the crypto industry? And I think Anthony hit some really good points in the beginning when there was the .com bubble, and I think it was the peak was like around 2002. And I think Anthony made a good point that Microsoft really came out ahead in that. However, there was certainly plenty of other room for big players to come into the market, such as Apple and Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs came in and he created a whole another niche that was really focused on user friendliness, increasing the workflow of the actual end user, and he was really innovative in that respect. And actually, this is kind of the way you can look at blockchain as well. You're always going to have Bitcoin, you're always going to have Ethereum, but there's going to be new players who can fill in new niches, such as a Star or Aleph Zero. And as time goes by, we'll see which ones kind of come out on top and which ones fill out certain can fit into those certain niches. But I think there's plenty of room for all these the really good blockchains to find their niche. Some other really good points they made was they're trying to talk about issues with privacy. We need to deal with privacy, however, we still need to have a decentralized ledger. Now, a Star, they're saying, hey, our way to deal with this is we can have the open blockchain be public and available, but we can actually have people build on it just by using the security of the Star network, but then building their own things within their own private entities, their own like kind of side chains on their own private entities, but they can still utilize the robustness of the Astar blockchain and kind of sync blocks with the Astar blockchain and rely on the security of the Astar blockchain and still be able to have the privacy on their own, the side of their own, inside the corporation, right? And I think Aleph Zero is sort of going in the same direction, but Aleph Zero has a lot faster speed, and also they're also going to have an actual privacy layer. And I think that, at least from my understanding and from what I listened to in the chat, they have Liminal, which is an actual product that they're going to be offering for this privacy layer for institutions to use, compared to Astar, which I think that they're kind of relying on the institutions to kind of make it, and then Astar will sort of guide them in the direction. So it's a little bit of different business approach, but I think both approaches are quite strong. And I think the Japanese market is, like Anthony said quite clearly, you need to have Japanese speakers and you need to have locals here who kind of understand Aleph Zero or understand the crypto market that's trying to open here, and be able to work with the locals and create local solutions that people who speak Japanese can use, because a lot of people in Japan, they don't necessarily speak English. It's not an English speaking country. You can't get a job besides English teaching unless either you're a super elite IT guy or a CTO, or a C-level guy, or you speak Japanese, or you're an English teacher. Pretty much are your two options. There's some in between stuff as well. There's some banking jobs you can get, but for the most part, that's just the way it is. Those are basically the main points that I got from the panel speaking. And I think that, I think Anthony and them, they had a really good time here in Tokyo. They learned a lot about the Japanese culture and how things are kind of set up here. And I think Japan really made a good impression on them. And actually, I think that, I know that from my side, the Japanese people I know that attended the event, they really were into the privacy aspect of the Aleph Zero blockchain, and how they're actually planning to provide a sort of service that they can give out to the business partners, and the business partners can use to have that privacy layer, so that way they don't have to worry about creating all the technology themselves. And Japanese are really love their private lives, and they like to keep private lives and public lives separate. But when everything is open on the blockchain, your company can see whatever the heck you're buying on the blockchain, or whatever you're doing, all your transactions. So that's kind of, for them, it's very, well, for a lot of people it is, but especially for Japanese, they really don't like to kind of have their private lives be displayed at all. And that's kind of just ingrained in their culture. So I think that's a really good aspect for Aleph Zero here. And I think they really is a way for them to hit home with the Japanese sort of population. That's it for pretty much the update for the event. Like I said, it was a smashing success. A lot of people, a lot of turnout, good food. And hopefully they'll be coming back to Tokyo, and we'll be able to do more events here. So really excited for the future for that. I just want to show you guys some of the goods we got. We got this the Aleph Zero goodie hat at the end of the event, and a little goodie bag. And we also got this cool book. I think it's like a notebook. So I just kind of kept the paper on because it looks nice. But I'll probably use this to write notes for my IT stuff and for YouTube. And that's it. Have a great day, guys. I really hope this helped you guys get more insight onto the events here in Tokyo. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Oh yes, and Alephoria, I forgot to mention, Alephoria is like a marketing campaign that Aleph Zero is planning to run. I believe, according to the rumors, they're gonna run this probably after Anthony gets back from his tour. He's basically going around to different countries right now. He went to Denver, I think it was last week. So he's been traveling nonstop. Him and Piotr has been traveling nonstop around the world, trying to make these business connections for Aleph Zero. So as of right now, I think that's on hold, and the development team is working on most, and as well as the as common and the release for that, while he's traveling, trying to make those business connections, while him and Piotr are traveling and making those business connections. And I think that once they get back, then they can probably focus more on Alephoria. But I think they're trying to get the word out there, just because they need to plant the seed. And actually, that was another point that Anthony had at the event, was it's really important to start planting the seeds early, because even if you just kind of throw the seed out there, the chance of rain actually hitting it is quite high, and the seed will it's quite likely the seed will grow even without you doing anything. But if you don't actually throw the seed out there, then there's no chance that it's going to rain and that the seed is going to actually grow. So that's what their aim was, actually coming out here in Tokyo, is planting a lot of seeds and trying to see which ones sort of take root, and doing that kind of all around the world right now with their going around doing that. And then also with the Alephoria, it's kind of the same concept. They threw the Alephoria out there. It's a seed. It's going to grow naturally, but it'll have roots at least by the time they launch the main project. So I think that's my takeaway. Take it if you want it, whatever. But have a great weekend, guys. And like I said, I hope this helped you. Peace out.